Everyone has their own vision of a good leader. The three main characteristics that I look up to in a leader is that they have to be honest, confident, and outgoing. Honesty is one of the most important things because I need someone who I can trust while making decisions. I need to be able to talk to them about anything and get their honest opinion. They need to be confident with what they do. When someone is confident in what they do, it makes them perform to their best of their abilities, and they aren't worrying about making mistakes. The best leaders are the ones who learn from their past and fix it. When someone is outgoing, you know that they care a lot about wanting to get to know you. They want to have fun but stay serious at the same time. In Ender's Game, Orson Scott illustrates Ender's character as someone who is strong and can do anything he puts his mind to. In the beginning of the book, you can tell that Ender wasn't very confident, but when he went to battle school, he gained a lot of self-confidence and made himself well known. Ender was very courageous. When he was getting beat up by Silson, he still decided to do something about it, even though it wasn't the best thing to do. He still stood up for himself and was brave. He never let anyone down when defeating the buggers, even though it was scared, and he never let that appear in his face because he wanted to be a good leader to his men. A good leader would be compassionate. Ender shows compassion throughout the book. Compassion is a theme that runs through Ender's life. It is the feature of his existence. The reason that he plays the game so well is his ability to understand the enemy and to inspire loyalty. More than it is compassion that saves Ender. If not for his compassion, he would have become either a killing machine or power-hungry creature like Peter. Ender's compassion for the buggers makes it possible for him to make up destroying their race by giving them a chance to start anew. Compassion provides hope for the future. Intelligence is a key characteristic that Ender has. When he is competing in the games, the mind game, a game that even his creators do not properly understand and one that affects Ender's life in specific ways, it is through the mind game that Ender is able to come to terms with the changes that are occurring in his life, and it's images of the game that the buggers use to communicate with Ender at the end of the book. Their lives revolve around playing games, and so the meaning of the words itself shifts from a voluntary fun experience into a necessary and crucial aspect of life. Peter is someone who is very controlling and wants things to go his way. Orson Scott wants his readers to think that Peter is the criminal person in the book. He is a strong leader but doesn't use his qualities in the right way, which won't work out in the end. He is manipulative. He takes power because he desires it, and other people's thoughts and emotions are only important to him so he can exploit them. Peter is very self-centered. As a leader, you need to care about the other people around you so that they will have their trust in you. He is motivated by his thirst for power. His lack of compassion makes Peter a man devoid of humility. He acts solely for his own benefit, and although he has a profound understanding of others, he uses his knowledge only to probe their weaknesses and to his own advantage. Peter, compared to Ender, lacks empathy. He wants to be a hero, but doesn't work as hard as Ender does. In the end, he doesn't really care as much. Mandela and Ender have the same style of how they lead. One of Mandela's lessons was, lead from the front but don't leave your base behind. Mandela would listen to everyone's opinion and try their best to take what he could to put in his ideas. Even when Ender is fighting in the trenches, he is giving demands and is doing everything first that he wants, and he asks his men to follow him and try to lead as well. Both Ender and Mandela want to get to know their enemies. In the moment when I truly understand my enemy, I understand him well enough to defeat him. Then, in that very moment, I also love him. I think it's impossible to really understand someone with what they want, what they believe, and not to love them the way they love themselves. Ender is talking to Valentine. He doesn't want to have enemies because he doesn't want to hurt others. Mandela knows that if he has enemies, they will just try to go against him, like Winnie did. If anyone had turned on Winnie, she would immediately go after them and try to get revenge. Peter can be violent at times. He beats up Ender in the Astronauts and Buggers game. When Winnie and Peter are effective leaders, but they don't use their leadership in the right way. Ender and Peter are two very strong leaders that have two different learning styles. Ender cares more about others and isn't just in it for himself. They both have a strong impact on their community, but Ender ends up being on top of Peter.